Hello and welcome to Peggy's Plants, coming to you from Central Florida. Today I'll be sharing with you the LetPot MP1 Smart Modular Planter. Anyone who has a certain number of plants, watering can be an issue, especially when you're on vacation and things like that. So I've been looking for something that can help me water when I'm away, that is aesthetically pleasing, and I can use semi-hydroponics or hydroponics as well as soil cultivation. So I came upon the LetPot modular system, and this is what it looks like when it arrives in the box. And I'm really excited about this. I have high hopes. Now this is all the parts to the system. Like I said, it's a self-watering system. It's supposed to be able to water for 30 to 45 days. It is double walled so that air can get to the roots, and there's an app so you can monitor things remotely. So I again have very high hopes. These are the individual pieces to this system. Not too many. I'm not good at putting things together. I don't like to put things together, but this seems to be simple enough, straightforward, not too many pieces. I like that it allows for the semi-hydroponics or hydroponics as well as soil cultivation, and for that reason you have two different size pots. This is the larger one over here, and I believe this one is for the soil cultivation. The thing I want to point out is this large bucket. This is the water reservoir. I love that it's totally covered and contained, so you don't have to worry about nets and things like that. So with that said, let's get to putting it together. Now I'm not going to take you totally step by step because that would just probably take a long time. So I'll just try to hit on some highlights with you. Now in the book, it shows you several different ways you can put this together. They do offer a stand that is optional. It shows you how to put it in a windowsill as well as mount it on rails. I'll be putting mine on a table or something. I don't know where I'm going to put this yet, but it won't be any of those. So it didn't give a method for putting it together like just on a flat surface. So I'm just going to use the windowsill method and hope that that works. Follow those instructions. And the first thing here is just screwing in this spout. Easy enough. Pop that in, put it in nice and tight, and there you go. That was simple enough. Now it's time to attach the hose, and I'm realizing already that my idea of putting this together and then moving it to where I want it to be is probably not going to work. I'm supposed to attach this hose to the planters, then run the hose through this hole in the reservoir, then attach this filter to the end of the hose that you've fed through the reservoir. Now you have to trim the excess because you don't want to have a bunch of excess hose, and that's where the problem lies. I don't know how much excess hose I'm going to have until I know where I'm going to put this, so I'm going to have to rethink my plan. Okay, so you're definitely going to have to know where you want to put this before you start setting up, and I decided to clear off one of my plant tables in my common living area and set it up here. So this is what I'm thinking so far, is just putting the bucket down here and having the water go up to the system, and yeah, I think this will work. So next thing I had to do is it gives you these elbows, and you have to build based on the amount of space you're going to need. You're going to have to put the hose together with the elbows so that the two planters are connected. So since I decided to do mine this way based on space, I had to use all four connectors right there. And the final step is just connecting this last piece so that the two smart planters are connected. Next, I have to connect this planter to the reservoir bucket. So I decided to move the bucket to the other side The instructions are mostly illustrated, but it did say that the planters should not be below the reservoir. Other than that, it doesn't really give you a lot on placement, but so I attached it like this. However, this kink is going to be a problem because if it kinks off, then the water can't pass through. So I will have to figure that out, but for now I haven't trimmed the hoses precisely since I may have to move things. So now let's go ahead and plug it in and see what happens. This observation is, this is kind of loud. I hope it's not always this loud, but then again, thinking about it, I probably shouldn't have this plugged in with no water in it. So let's turn this off if I can figure out how to turn it off, which I can't. So I'm just going to go ahead and unplug it until we have water in it, because I'm sure it's not good for it to be running with no water in it. The instructions say fill the tank, but don't exceed the tank inlet. So I've put some water in the tank, and I also added some water into the planters. And once I've confirmed that everything's working with no leaks, I will fill the water tank. At this point, I'm instructed to download the app, so I'm going to do that. They have several different products, so I went in and looked for the one for the Modular Smart Planter, and that is the one that I am going to download. As you can hear, the LetPot Modular Planter is plugged in. It appears to be working as it should. Now don't be concerned. I was concerned initially about the sound, and then looking at the app some, it doesn't stay on continuously, so you'll see further when I show you more about the app. But the sound shouldn't be an issue. The water is going through the whole system. I can hear it trickling out. Here's where it plugs in. This is the hose that brings the water up into the first modular planter and through to the second. Now, now's the time to get potting. It's time to fill the pots. Now, for the ones that you're going to grow in soil cultivation, it says put some aggregate at the bottom and then put your soil in. And as you can see for hydroponics, it says just fill it with your hydroponic substrate. So, and if you want to put any fertilizers in, put them in the water tank. So I'm very excited to start potting up some plants and get them going. As you can see, I am using hydrogen pellets because that's what I normally use. I got a little ahead of myself and didn't show you the first plant that I potted up. So I'm showing you, I put the, this alocasia was in soil, so I'm leaving it in soil. I put the hydrogen pellets in the bottom, the soil on top of that. And now I'm just going to go over here and add it to the Smart Planter. Now I'm going to set up the planter, how frequently I want it to come on and water my plants, and for how long. I love that you're able to choose a duration as well as a frequency with this app. The app seems to be pretty straightforward and user-friendly, so you don't have to be computer savvy or techie to do it. Now looking in here, that's the water level when the system is on. And though it is a little noisy, I just remind you that you only have this sound for the duration that you set it to run. So I set mine to run 3 minutes. So this sound will only be present for 3 minutes every few days. And also keeping in mind that I am right up on it so that you can hear it. Very into aesthetics, so I don't know if this setup is going to work for me. I'm kind of trying to camouflage the water tank some. I figure if I put a plant on it, maybe some plants around it, it would help, but I don't know. So I think I still may end up moving this. And again, I haven't trimmed the hose so that I do have the option to continue moving it. Another thing that I just found in the app is the ability to input information about each plant. I mean, you take a picture directly from the app and then you go back and put the details. It tells you, you know, you can put the name of the plant, when it started in this system. I mean, it has a place for notes, all of that. So it also, I'm just seeing, has like a little library where it will tell you the name and information of some plants. So I suppose this might be something that's generated by, you know, what everyone puts in. I don't know. It is kind of limited, but nice to know as well. So I've planted up several plants now, and these are the ones in the back that are in semi-hydro. And for the ones that are in soil, the taller plots, you put this collar on here, just like that, and you place your pot and it sits right on top of that collar. And it makes it so like the hydrogen or whatever is in the bottom will wick up the water to your soil so that your soil isn't sitting in the water. So I'm really liking the system. There we go. All of my plants are potted up. This holds 6 plants, and it's made of food grade resin, so it's supposed to be better if you decide to grow vegetables or something like that in here. There's some confusion as to where the tank should be. Should it be higher than the planters or lower than the planters? A little confused by the illustrations showing one thing and the verbiage saying another. So I decided to place the water tank under the table. I'm liking this better aesthetically. It's working out fine. It's going through the modular system as it should. I must say I'm very impressed, way more than I expected to be. I love the look of this. I love the functionality of it. It's easy to work with. I love that I can use the app to manage the watering. So if you think you might be interested in something like this, there are further details down in the description box. And Peggy's Plants is definitely giving a 2 thumbs up to the LetPot Smart Modular Planter MP1. Thank you so much for joining me today. Stay well. Hope to see you next time. Bye-bye.